There is a silent battle that every human must face, yet no one prepares us for it. It is not the battle against external enemies, nor is it the struggle to accumulate wealth or status. It is the quiet, inevitable confrontation with time itself. The realization that the river of life only flows in one direction. As the years accumulate, the world around us shifts, our bodies change, and the roles we once defined ourselves by begin to fade away. Most people meet this stage of life with anxiety, resentment, or a desperate desire to cling to the past. But ancient wisdom offers a different path, a blueprint not of decline, but of ultimate psychological sovereignty. 2,000 years ago, the most powerful man in the world, the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, sat in a dark military tent, surrounded by war, betrayal, and a failing body. He discovered the ultimate secret to absolute inner peace. This is the Stoic art of aging, a masterclass in how to let go of what you cannot control, protect your peace, and command your mind. Marcus Aurelius began his reflections with the brutal but liberating truth. Most of the things causing you distress do not belong to you. We spend our youth under the grand illusion that we can control everything: our health, our reputation, our future, and the actions of others. We exhaust our mental energy fighting against the natural flow of reality, treating every unexpected change as a personal tragedy. But as we enter the second half of life, this illusion becomes impossible to sustain. The body no longer responds the way it used to. The cultural landscape shifts into something unrecognizable, and the people we love grow older alongside us. The amateur mind reacts to this with anger, viewing aging as a thief that steals their vitality and independence. But the Stoic philosopher views this very shift as the ultimate testing ground for true, unshakable strength. Epictetus, the great Stoic teacher who heavily influenced Marcus Aurelius, stated that the chief task in life is simply this: to separate things into two distinct categories: the external things that are completely outside your control, and the internal choices you make right now. When you realize that your physical biology, the passing of time, and the opinions of a changing society are completely outside your power, a profound shift happens. You stop fighting the storm, and you begin to master the ship. You no longer waste a single ounce of your precious energy wishing things were different, or mourning a past that cannot be rewritten. You reclaim your power. You realize that while you cannot control the external changes in your life, you possess total, absolute authority over how you interpret them. This is what Marcus Aurelius meant when he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Let us be completely honest with each other right now. I guess you are secretly terrified that you haven't achieved enough, and you feel the heavy weight of time pulling you down. You look back at your life and see a graveyard of missed opportunities, broken relationships, and paths you wish you never took. You might be sitting there thinking, is this it? Did I waste my best years chasing illusions, only to end up here? If you are ready to stop letting your past paralyze your present, I want you to pause right now. Go to the comments and type, "I will not give up." Declare it to yourself. Let that comment be your line in the sand, because your story is far from over. Let's look at the harsh realities many of you are facing today. Maybe your health is failing, and you feel betrayed by your own body. Maybe the children you sacrificed everything to raise rarely call anymore, leaving you with a crushing sense of loneliness. Or maybe you look at this modern, chaotic world and feel completely left behind, like a stranger in a land you no longer recognize. When these heavy situations hit, most people spiral into despair. But Marcus Aurelius faced the exact same burdens. As emperor, he watched a brutal plague wipe out his empire. He buried 8 of his own children. His closest friend betrayed him. Yet in his private journal, he never whined. He never played the victim. Instead, he designed a psychological shield. His solution was simple. You cannot change the script of the past, but you are the director of your reaction right now. The Stoics called this amor fati, the love of one's fate. It means you don't just tolerate your struggles, you use them to forge character. If your body is weaker, let your mind become an absolute fortress. If people have left you, master the art of being your own best company. Your regrets are nothing but ghosts. They have no power over you unless you feed them with your attention. If you are ready to reclaim your mental sovereignty from the ghosts of your past, write in the comments, "I am in control." Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every morning, the present is all we have to live in or to lose. Stop judging your entire life by the mistakes of yesterday. The only move that matters is the one you make right now. Think about the people who have wronged you over the decades, the friends who vanished when you needed them most, the family members who took your kindness for weakness and left you feeling discarded or unappreciated. It hurts. It leaves a bitter taste in your mouth, and it makes you want to close your heart off from the world completely. If you are tired of letting ungrateful people steal your sleep and ruin your days, type down below, "My peace is sacred." Lock that truth into your mind. Your peace belongs to you, and no toxic person has the right to occupy free space in your head. Marcus Aurelius dealt with backstabbers every single day. Senators smiled to his face while plotting to overthrow his throne. He wrote a rule for himself that you need to memorize. When you wake up, tell yourself, "The people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, and arrogant." He didn't say this to be bitter. He said it to protect his expectations. People act foolishly because they lack wisdom. Expecting an ungrateful person to suddenly treat you fairly is like expecting a thorn bush to grow roses. It is an impossibility. Their bad behavior is a reflection of their flawed soul, not your worth. Why let a blind man's opinion dictate your value? The ultimate revenge against those who slighted you is not to argue, fight, or seek closure. The ultimate revenge is to be completely unlike them. Let us confront the most intimate struggle of all, the physical toll that time takes on our flesh and bone. Perhaps you wake up each morning with pain in your joints, feeling as though your own body has become a cage. You remember when you were strong, fast, and unbroken. Now you look in the mirror and see a stranger wearing the marks of time. It is incredibly easy to fall into bitterness, to feel that life has betrayed you by stealing your youth. If you refuse to let physical limitations break your spirit, pause right here and type in the comments, "My mind is unbroken." Let that affirmation be your shield, because your body is merely the vessel. Your mind is the commander. Marcus Aurelius spent the final decade of his life in agony. He suffered from chronic chest pains and a failing stomach. While commanding armies on the frozen northern frontier, he could barely sleep from the physical torment. Yet he did not allow his physical decay to corrupt his moral character. He viewed illness not as a tragedy, but as a natural law. He wrote, "Sickness is a hindrance to the body, but not to the will, unless the will consents to it. If your steps are slower today, let your wisdom be deeper. If your outer shell is weakening, let your inner fortress become impenetrable. The body belongs to the earth, and the earth will eventually reclaim it. But your dignity belongs entirely to you." Let us look at a quiet plague that breaks the spirit of millions as they grow older: the sting of isolation. Perhaps your house has grown entirely too quiet. The friends you spent decades laughing with are no longer around. You look out at a world that seems to move at lightning speed, feeling as though you have become completely invisible to society. If you are ready to transform your loneliness into a source of ultimate psychological power, type below, "I am never alone." Claim that strength, because there is a profound difference between being lonely and mastering solitude. Marcus Aurelius was surrounded by thousands of subjects, soldiers, and politicians every single day of his reign. Yet he wrote that he felt deeply isolated because true intellectual and spiritual peers were incredibly rare. His solution was to build what he called an inner citadel, a mental sanctuary where he could always find retreat. He reminded himself that you do not need to travel or rely on the presence of others to find peace and validation. Use this quiet stage of your life not to mourn your isolation, but to finally get to know the depth of your own mind. When you become your own best companion, you no longer beg for attention from a world that does not understand you. Think about the invisible judges you still carry inside your head, the people who criticized you years ago. Maybe it was a parent who told you you'd never amount to anything, an ex-spouse or a boss who discarded your loyalty. Decades have passed, yet you are still letting their dead words lock you in a prison of self-doubt and unworthiness. If you are ready to finally silence the opinions of people who do not matter, type in the comments right now, "Only I judge my worth." Lock that into your psyche. You cannot let people who do not know your heart dictate your peace of mind. Marcus Aurelius was criticized constantly. If he was too strict, the public hated him. If he was too merciful, they called him weak. He realized a liberating truth. People's opinions are completely unstable, changing like the shifting desert winds. He asked why we give strangers the power to make us feel good or bad about our own character and decisions. Their praise adds nothing to your value, and their criticism takes nothing away. A diamond is beautiful even if no one praises it. Stop looking backward for approval from a past that is dead. Your own conscience is the only judge you need to satisfy. There is no pain deeper in the later years of life than watching the people who anchored your world leave this earth. The loss of a lifelong partner, a sibling, or a dear friend leaves a hollow space in your chest that never fully closes. The grief can be so heavy that you feel as though a part of your own soul was buried right alongside them. If you want to honor those you lost by standing strong rather than drowning in sorrow, type, "I cherish the memory." Let that be your tribute. The greatest way to honor the dead is to live your remaining days with absolute purpose Marcus Aurelius was forced to bury his beloved wife, Faustina, after 30 years of marriage and shared burdens. He wept bitterly in private, but he refused to let his grief paralyze his duty to the millions depending on his leadership. He reminded himself that everything nature lends us must eventually be returned to the grand tapestry of the universe. Do not focus on the darkness of their absence. Focus on the brilliant light their presence brought into your existence. They finished their race before you. Your task now is to finish yours with dignity, carry their legacy, and stand tall. There is one final shadow that every human must walk through, a topic this modern world desperately tries to hide from you. The realization that our time on this earth is finite, and that the final chapter of our story is drawing closer. For many, this thought brings a cold, paralyzing fear. They spend their later years in a state of quiet panic, dreading the end. If you are ready to face reality with the absolute courage of an ancient warrior, type down below, "I am not afraid." Stand firm in that truth. To fear the end of life is to misunderstand the very nature of existence. The Stoics practiced a daily ritual called memento mori, remember that you must die. They did not do this to be morbid or depressing. They did it to unlock the absolute highest value of the present moment. Marcus Aurelius looked at death as nothing more than a natural process, no different than a leaf falling from a tree or a flower blooming. He wrote, "Do not despise death, but welcome it, for nature wills it like everything else. You did not fear the billions of years before you were born. Why should you fear the endless peace that comes after? By accepting the end, you finally free yourself to truly live. You stop counting the days, and you start making the days count."